As Kenyans wait in anticipation, many of them dreading, many of them bracing themselves for the Wednesday countrywide maandamano by the people of Kenya, supervised by Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance. There is a strange development amongst the UDA camp, amongst the Kenya Kwanza camp, that I want to draw your attention to. It seems that there's a lot of panic in the Kenya Kwanza camp. And it seems that whatever Kenya Kwanza has planned for Wednesday's maandamano is not a good thing. And definitely it is not a good thing for Kenya. But what exactly are they planning? Well, in a speech a few moments ago, before I came in to make this recording, President William Ruto warned that there will be no maandamano. What did he mean? He warned that maandamano must come to an end so that Kenyans can focus on the Kenya Kwanza agenda and on the Kenya Kwanza development plan. It is, however, sad that the vast majority of Kenyans do not see this development plan. What they see are so many scandals already. The edible oil scandal, the oil scandal, KEMSA, etc., etc. And what Kenyans are seeing are a few Kenyans changing their dressing, wearing expensively shoes worth millions, watches, wrist watches worth millions. That's what Kenyans are seeing. But that is the story on the side of Kenya Kwanza. And personally, I would appeal to Kenya Kwanza that whatever they have planned against Azimio, whatever they may have planned against the people of Kenya, to stop and think and ask themselves a very simple question. Will this stand the test of time? Whatever it is we want to do to stop maandamano, peaceful demonstrations enshrined in our constitution, whatever you want to do against them, will it stand the test of time? That is the question they must ask themselves. It is worth noting that in every single maandamano so far, the government and the police have had a plan that has not been a good plan. We saw what happened with that rogue cop who was captured on social media, who I'm informed is still very much around, but is now very careful to avoid being captured by camera. We saw what it did to the press vehicle of Azimio. We saw that. We saw even in the latest maandamano last Friday, the attempt on Raila Odinga, on his life. We saw the evidence of that on Raila Odinga's vehicle. Incidentally, I'm informed that at the very last possible minute, Raila Odinga switched vehicles. Indeed, we can now comfortably say, if it is indeed true that William Samoei Ruto won the presidential elections, then the behavior of the Kenya Kwanza camp does not support that allegation. It doesn't. Because when you win an election, opening the server should not be a problem. If you really won the election, what the opposition do should not really concern you. You won. You have your supporters. But of course, if you didn't win, then you behave how Kenya Kwanza are behaving. I would like to take this opportunity to appeal to those of us who pray, to pray over the maandamanos that are scheduled for a few hours on Wednesday, 12th July 2023. To pray against any evil plans, that they will not work, they will not succeed, they will abort, all for a better Kenya. This panic in the ranks of Kenya Kwanza is not without reason. And indeed, one of the sources of that panic is this business of the collection of 10 million signatures. Yeah, and Azimio are playing their cards very close to their chest. They're not revealing the strategy to us. But the truth is, yeah, there is something behind this collection of 10 million signatures that is going to hit the Kenya Kwanza regime and indeed the Ruto presidency very hard. Let us stop being naive. It is not written in the Constitution. The people cannot directly impeach a president, etc., etc. Let's stop being naive. And let's think a little deeper. Because Article 1 of our Constitution talks about the superiority of the Kenyan ordinary mwananchi. Sovereignty rests with the ordinary Kenyan mwananchi. And he can exercise his powers either through elected leaders or directly. That is the key part to look at in trying to predict what Azimio are going to do once they have collected their 10 million signatures. Which, the way the mood is in Kenya at the moment, collecting 15 million signatures, let alone 10, is going to be a walk in the park. Very easy. Kenyans are angry. Kenyans are united against the William Samoei Ruto regime. That should be obvious. The naked truth is that Kenyans have lost complete confidence, if they had any, in the Ruto presidency. That is the truth. And you don't need to look very far for the clear evidence of that. But in digging for some clues as to what Azimio are really up to with these 10 million signatures, it is important that I repeat what I have said here before. And that is the following. If you're in a country, any country, and the people opposed to the government, 10 million of them sign a document. Let's just now talk generally, any country in the world. What do you think that would mean politically? Yeah, and don't forget, in Kenya, we have a very unique constitution, okay, which gives a lot of leeway to the ordinary mwananchi to exercise their powers over their leaders. Did you hear the rumors which are saying, and I quote, "Higo mtu aliweka booby trap kwa hii constitution. Ayayayayaya. Lazima tubadilishe. Iko booby trap. Iko booby trap." Hey! I am very reliably informed that insiders in Kenya Kwanza, those who understand law, and those who have read our constitution, are saying something to that effect. And it reminds me of the time the constitution was being put together, when there were very determined efforts to enforce the recall clause. In short, giving power to voters mid-term, before another election comes, to recall their leader, their MP, their governor, their women's rep. In other words, to remove them from their position, yeah, for completely failing to do their work in representing those voters who woke up very early in the morning, who walked long distances to vote them into office. And it was very clear at the time that there was very strong resistance against the recall clause, yeah, and that is why it remains weak. The argument of politicians was that my political opponent will organize for me to be recalled and I've won the election. They'll not allow me to work. That was their lame excuse, which is of course ridiculous, because democracy will forever be always about numbers. So if your opponent has the numbers, how come they have the numbers and you won the election? That is a simple question. How? How did that happen? But those gallant Kenyans who were pushing for this clause, yeah, at least managed to retain Article 1. And I'm sure politicians at the time did not think very much of it. Fine. Ultimate power is given to the voter. Hasn't the voter always had it? Well, they made a terrible blunder. Because the truth is, our constitution is very unique. Okay? And that particular clause will be the undoing of the illegitimate Kenya Kwanza regime. Mark my words. Now I have some very good news for you. Despite very strong resistance from those who understand finance and those who help us with our accounting, I have decided to extend our SABA SABA offer until the end of the day, 12th July 2023. Yeah, the end of the maandamano day, yeah, which is scheduled in a few hours. So please take this opportunity to rush and grab this golden chance to be a full year subscriber at a rate never before seen, yeah, of our weekly intelligence briefings. In honor of all those brave, gallant Kenyans from past SABA SABA days and what they ultimately managed to achieve, including our very unique constitution, that is probably the only thing in the political landscape right now that is protecting us ordinary Kenyans. You can see details on your screens. Yeah, for only $4.99 or only Kenya shillings 499, you can grab that WAB annual membership, or even go for my sets of videos concerning how to deal with these very hard times we have entered. You know, historically, when hard times come, coming out of them becomes very complicated and very problematic. And so hard times tend to last longer than most people anticipate. So we really need to prepare. Please remember your prayers for tomorrow's maandamano. And God willing, I will see you on the other side of those maandamanos. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.